What I'm about to say in this video is going to sound a bit mental, but I don't know if you realize this. I'm a bit mental. I wouldn't change that for the world, by the way. Why you always feel weak and tired, why you always get ill, why you always feel like you don't have the energy other people do. No matter what you do, caffeine, sleep, you always just feel sluggish. I'm not going to spend the video beating around the bush here. I'm just going to tell you straight up to your face. It's up here. No, it is up here. I know you're gonna tell me something like, how is that possible? Just shut up and listen. I was like you, up until recently actually. But it still didn't matter. Because the one thing I never did is use it as an excuse. Because when you focus on it, when you tell yourself you're not supposed to be tired, when you tell yourself you're supposed to have this energy channeling through your body all the time, you're almost telling yourself that there's something wrong with you. First of all, you're going to have moments in the day where you feel fatigued. I mean, if you're trying to be as active as I am, your body needs to adapt, needs to rest. When you push yourself through it, it's not always going to feel good, but that's a good thing. Because that's discipline, lad. But if you feel tired all the time, if you always feel unmotivated, and if you get ill a lot, it's a big chance that that's up here too. Because you're identifying as the person who always gets ill, who is always tired, who doesn't have the energy. Before I got back to being consistent at the gym and with other things in my life, I started to have that identity. I go to the gym and I just feel like I just wasn't feeling it. I was telling myself I was supposed to feel it. Do you know how I changed that, lad? I stopped using it as an excuse. I stopped caring about that. And do you know what? I still have sessions when I go there and it doesn't feel quite right. Maybe I haven't slept enough. Or like today, I had a bit of a degenerate morning. Fucking started like an idiot there. I'm gonna keep that in because I am. But I don't use it as an excuse anymore. Because I'm not there to feel good. I'm not going to the gym, I'm not doing these productive things to feel good, I'm doing it to make progress. And when you stop making feeling good or feeling energized as the priority, you stop relying on it. That's step one. Because if you've been identifying as this lazy, tired, ill son of a gun, you can't get rid of that. You can't just wake up and feel fine because you've been believing this. But step one is to stop focusing on it and stop using it as an excuse. Just get up and do things. Say, I don't give a crap because I'm the guy who does it regardless of how I feel. That's the identity you need to live with first. Do you know what's going to happen, Chief? If you start going to the gym 3 times a week, and then 4 times a week, then 5 times a week, and if you start doing all these things with your life, you're going to get more energy. And you'll stop identifying with the person that has no energy, because if that was true, then why would you be doing all these things? It's not actually that you don't have the energy, it's that you're not using it. It's that your body doesn't feel like you need it, because you have to build energy levels. Your body adapts to what you think you need. If you sit around all day doing absolutely nothing, your body's going to give the energy of someone who does absolutely nothing. So you need that growing pains, you need that time to adapt. I'm still adapting to this lifestyle, not focusing on it. And then we come to being ill. Do you know what I did recently? When I hit 22, I wanted it to be a blast straight away. And it was for a few days, then I got ill straight away, and I didn't like that. And then I got ill again 2 weeks later. And I couldn't work out if it was hay fever or this COVID thing going around. And I switched something recently. And this is going to sound mental. I'm not saying this is going to work all the time. Or maybe it will. Because I actually don't know what to believe anymore about the power of mind over matter. But recently, it was a week ago, I was just trying to get back to 5 times a week at the gym, and I was on the 4th day, and I felt on my day off before the 5th day that I was getting ill. And I started to go through the usual ritual that I used to go through of complaining about it, getting angry about it. And do you know what I said to myself? I realised everything that I have to do. I realised that I've got my job, I've got this, I've got the gym, I've got so many priorities. And do you know what I genuinely said to myself? I said, I don't have the time to be ill. I am too busy to be ill. And do you know what happened? I stopped feeling ill. Slowly but surely, as I marched down the street, walked all the way home from the city centre, which was quite far, and then went to the gym, it just disappeared, and I didn't even have the problem the next day. You explain that to me. Because I was feeling proper symptoms, and I'm not saying all illness is placebo, but it is an interesting fact, lad. I had some good advice by someone that they say that oftentimes when men retire, they die shortly afterwards. It's because if you have things to do, if you have things to achieve, things that need to be done, things that need to be prioritized, your body and your mind will understand that you have things that you need to be attacking. But when you don't have any goals, when you have nothing to strive towards, that's when you find it easier to be weak, because you don't need to be strong. That's when you might let in illnesses more, or if you're retiring, you might die soon. Now, this sounds mental, I know, and I'm not saying if you have this mindset you'll absolutely never get ill, although I don't even want to say that, because I feel like if I say that, then I'm letting in the possibility. But right now, regardless, unless I am bedbound, unless it's an illness that genuinely, I don't know, say it's like the flu or something, and I genuinely can't get out of bed, I don't have the time, and I just keep pushing forwards and see what happens. And so far, I've felt better than I have ever felt, because I'm not using how I feel as an excuse to stop being productive, and that's the main thing. Unless you genuinely cannot get out of bed, unless you genuinely are clamped to the floor, you're just going off based how you feel, and how you feel doesn't matter. It's what you do. You don't have time to be ill, you don't have time to be weak, you don't have time to be tired. It's okay to feel these things, but if you have things to do, lad, doesn't matter. And this sounds all regimented and like toxic masculinity or military. It's not. It's just called having control over your feelings. It's just called stoicism. It's called taking back control of your life. And even though it's not about feeling happy, it's about making progress. When you do this, you end up feeling a lot better in yourself, and as a byproduct, happier. Because when you're not chasing happiness, it won't evade you. Try it. Actually try and believe that you don't have time for all these things. Stop identifying as the weak victim. Start identifying as the hustler that's going to change his life around, because you've got things to do, lad. So get doing it. Say less. Do more.